So, we join back in with our adventurers. After last week, the group had, after such a long time, freed Dante from the curse that is Tenebris. With not without some long-lasting transformations and with a brand new look and maybe some new powers. Not sure quite yet. Headed back to the temple. They moved by, got some food, and grabbed all their stuff from the safe house, and pretty much have moved in full into the temple. Eleni still has their room in the back area, and before they rested, Dante attempted to use their new fire to do some healing on those that were still cursed by the corruption, and finding that he can burn away the corruption, but also still damages the person underneath. Remembers back on the visions he saw and things that he heard, and remembers that in the beginning, when the Fire Ganassi first fought the corruption, they also killed those who were corrupted. The bodies just afterwards would be burned free of the...
You just said Fire Ganassi.
Yeah, you did.
Sorry, the Ifriti, my apologies.
You're with different people, yo.
You are, because I was thinking about what's happened to you.
Yeah, but you all look the same, Chris. You all look the same.
What, hot?
Fiery. Likely to burn you. But yes, however, remembering that Tanabori, Volu's adoptive mother, / potential other things, depending on how Volu feels about his recent memories, taught them how to heal, or at least burn away the corruption and not damage the person underneath. And with that, you went to bed with some thoughts and some rest. Waking in the morning, you can knock off a long rest if you haven't already done so. And thinking about the day ahead.
I know he's
as you wake. Sorry, go on.
I know he's not here. Dante definitely would be badgering each to be like, Zona truth me. Zona truth me. Zona truth me.
And yes, he definitely would zone of truth you and ask you, you know, probably I'm gonna say, give me a, I don't know what this will be, just a straight D20 roll against him, because he's gonna try and slip some embarrassing question in there that
19.
you. Oh, it was an 18. So the question comes, and you maybe get the first few words out before you catch yourself. It's good that you are free. I think I'm aware that we might be leaving soon. We need to think about what we are going to do. Are we going to stay? And have you changed your mind about staying and helping with the corruption now that Tenebris is no longer a factor?
I will go where the group goes. I have a lot that I must repay. And also, we need to deal with the travelling situation of, I'll just point over at the very large, very heavy lead box.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe a trip. Maybe we can buy something. I don't know if there is a better way to do it, but
just thinking of something maybe with a pocket dimension, so it isn't on our plane and less used.
It might be hard to come by unless you have it made, but that means sticking around until it is made.
We will see what the rest of the group wants.
He would probably say, "Go on ahead." I think today I'm gonna look into where. I'm not sure where to go next after everything with Arthur. I was going to say maybe up to their fort, but now I am not so sure.
Great Watcher.
But yeah, so you would be able to go ahead. Volu, you would wake. Volu, have you been staying in the room on your own, or would you have just sort of de factoed into?
I thought we were all in a room together.
I was in a room with them.
Okay.
No, Lenny was the other one in a different room.
Yeah, no, I'm saying Eleni was in a room to herself, and then
and we were in as a
all
3.
together.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, Volu, you would hear them talking. Obviously, you hear the conversation. You can also smell the breakfast being cooked.
That's probably why I'm not going to say anything, because I'll be focusing on that.
Food comes first.
Eleni, as you're sort of waking, there's a soft knock at the door.
And come in.
High Priest Arcanair would just creak the door a little and just say, let me know what you are planning to do today. If you are free, if you have a few hours, I had some thoughts on how to learn a little more about your swarm. I do not know if it will work, but we could test some things.
I'd like that. I think it seems like Dante's at least willing to try to help some of those that are infected. And I don't think there's anything I can do, but I'd like to stick around and at least do what I can. So yeah, no plans to go anywhere just yet. Yeah, I would love to find out more.
Okay. No, don't stress. They would sort of just say, well, come and find us anything. It is up to you whether the others come. Where we are going and what we are doing is not especially secret. But let me know. And they will sort of shut the door and leave you to get ready and come out at your own pace.
Okay. Yeah, I would get dressed. I'm taking my time. I'm not rushing particularly. And then I would follow my nose to wherever I can smell food, because I know that Volu will be there wherever the food is. So I would head for that.
Okay. For the boys, same, I assume.
Yeah. Did you see the message I sent you, by the way? It's on roll. There was one I sent last session, but it was as we were ending.
Oh yes, thank you.
Oh, Lou. Are you hungry?
Is there air in the sky?
Yeah, you haven't had a response.
Okay. I was wondering. I didn't think I would get a response.
No, that's fine. Yeah. Thank you for reminding me.
No problem. Yeah, so I would respond to Dante in that fashion. I'd almost mimic his voice going, "Is there air in the sky?"
Mimic. Dante goes like to chuckle and then goes to head off, but then looks over at the case and then looks over at Ichi and goes, "Are you okay to look after this?"
Yes, so not let it talk to my side.
And then we'll go off. So
I'll scurry past with him.
So I do not have my great sword.
You maybe need to look for a new weapon at some point today.
I know, it's part of my things to be looking at. Though story-wise, I really want that sword back. I don't want any mechanics of it. It just will help me when I cross class. It will make more sense. That's it.
I want a big shiny sword.
I don't know if you need it for it.
Oh no, I don't need it at all. I would like Chris would like it, just because it makes a bit more sense on the way I want to go.
But yeah, so I'd say you probably come together in the corridor on the way over to the food hall. You would be able to grab some food, take a seat, and then discuss what you wish to do today.
Okay.
You feeling better, Eleni?
Slightly. I think there are still a lot of unanswered questions. And I don't really know what our plan is now.
We've been rushing around to crazy deadlines for so long. It's now that we have as much time as we need, I don't know what to do. Funny, really.
I think as much time as we need might be a stretch with everything that is happening in this city.
This is true. Just reveling in the lack of pressure.
Dante's just staring at his hand. And it's just kind of pinging like a tiny flame. Just... This is something I'm getting used to.
My porridge is a bit cold. Can you help?
He goes, I'll give it a go. And we'll put his hands underneath it. It will focus, and then, but like, without really paying too much attention, cast Burning Hands. Which I don't actually know what that does. What, like, I'm assuming
that's like a cone.
It's a cone of fire. So
I'm hoping you're not sat opposite me
up.
while you do that.
It goes up.
The bowl is fired straight upwards.
If there's silence across the hall, and then there's me like,
and the porridge is burned.
Can I make an acrobatics to catch it?
I'll let you give it a go. I'm gonna say disadvantage because you weren't ready for it.
Neither was Dante. But that
8. 8.
You know, you dive across the table heroically just for it to like smash on the floor at your fingertips.
Oh,
There is definitely like a hushed look, but then you would notice a lot of the priests are rushing about, so they didn't get back to it. Over in the corner, there's an elderly-looking priest giving you the evils right now, but they're not saying anything. They're not coming over.
So not only have you added bacon to the porridge, you're now throwing the bowls around and sticking porridge to the ceiling.
Dante's just a little bit embarrassed and very surprised. I think I need to practice a bit.
Okay, maybe not with my porridge next time. Sorry for suggesting, and I'll just proceed to clear it up, being a bit of a grump that I've wasted food.
Dante will give you his whatever he has. I can't remember. Dante's a vegetarian, as we said. I said this at the start.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or vegan. I can't. I honestly can't remember what I said.
He was your character, hon.
Yes, I know.
You
but
should
it's been a
know
long
this.
time since. Yeah, but a long time since we've eaten something. So I think
It's not true.
So yeah, I think he's vegan. So goes to give him whatever he has for breakfast.
Bolo is slightly more grumpy at the vegan porridge.
But yeah, okay. So what's the plan for today? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do?
I think it'd be good to look for. I need 2 things. One, some way of carrying our friend around, which doesn't require a huge metal box with locks and needs multiple people to hold it.
Hmm.
That is what I will need. And if on top of that, I am also looking for perhaps a replacement or a way of protecting oneself to make sure it doesn't get found or something for me to use.
Is the sword dangerous for you to use?
I do not know. It is a magic weapon, so it is unlikely to break. But I do not know. We don't know much after what Demetrius has said to us. It will say it is possible that some of the powers or energy could still leak, but the binding will hold now, according to Demetrius.
So do we need to find a permanent home for it at some point?
Let us cross that bridge when it comes to it. I would not want to hand this elf away
I
without.
understand that, but at some point you are probably now mortal. We need to plan for when you eventually die. Is somebody else going to have to carry the sword around? Should we think about, I don't know, throwing it in the sea, tied to a lump of rock, or like bury it really deep, or throw it in a volcano? I don't know. I'm just, yeah,
I feel like the volcano is the least likely of all those.
probably.
It could break the sword, and he'd
Mm,
probably be quite hurt home in somewhere like that.
yeah.
But yes, it is something to consider.
Because also I assume that wherever he came from, those people or things might be hunting him, looking for him.
And perhaps me. E.g. mentioned last night that they were after the sword and for the vessel.
So yeah, maybe
So
at some point we need to put some distance between you.
perhaps, or just at very minimum, I need some form of not being able to be scryed on, which I think maybe as a group we would be good to have. That is,
Didn't we have something? Weren't we given something, or am I getting mixed up?
I couldn't. I thought I was in the previous campaign, but I might be wrong.
You made stuff in the previous campaign.
Because it wasn't expensive, was it? We had. I remember it was just like, here's a couple of necklaces, cushy, done.
Yeah, I think it's like 200 or 300 each.
Saying
something like that.
that's not happened with me in it. So
Okay,
the last
that's fine.
campaign.
I'm getting mixed up then with other campaigns.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I couldn't remember either.
Okay.
So
That'd be good. That would be good because I know we've been focusing on you, Dante, but there were those people who were looking for Eleni.
Yes, of course. We'll just look over to Elenius. How would you like to proceed with that?
Well, we haven't seen them since. I have no idea if they're still in the city and have given up, or maybe it's just other people. And honestly, I don't know. So much has happened in the last few days. They've not really been at the top of my list until yesterday.
Would you like to leave or find them or hide?
Part of me would like to tie them up and beat the truth out of them, but I'm not sure that's the best move. I can't risk my husband finding out that I'm still alive. So
This time that Volu heard this. Because I know you and I had shared this, but I don't know if you shared it with
no,
anyone.
we did share it. I did share it with the others after I spoke to you. So yeah, I can't risk that. So they either need to have some kind of accident, or we need to leave Or they need to think that I've left. I did actually have a thought. It was not a good thought. I wondered how Madame Oracle would feel about another criminal organisation working in her city. But I suspect I would owe her far more than I'm willing to.
Plus, you do not know if perhaps they may have even asked permission.
True.
As criminals go, or even allied organisations.
Mm-hmm.
Could that be maybe why they knew you were here?
I mean, we
don't
did
know.
the new Hagra.
She didn't have the same amount of information about me that she had on Ichi and Volu, though.
That was due to a spell.
And Eleni isn't my real name. So I don't know how she would tie me back to that.
You also haven't used your moths in front of, like, you haven't discussed your scars or any other such thing, you know, and like
No.
you're a long way away, but possible.
Have we reordered, Emma?
It's fine. Yeah, we're still the same.
But yeah,
did we know that Eleni wasn't your real name? Because again, is this just Chris being thick?
I think
no,
I hinted
She's
at it.
she's hinted it, but that's the first time she's ever fully said it. Because I was kind of like, "Ooh." Look, then I was like, "Volu doesn't really know how to react because it's something he kind of knew."
I did hint at it at one point when there was something about Volu being Clovis.
You had to sign your names when you entered the city.
Yeah.
And you didn't have an issue signing Eleni.
I did not know this wasn't your name, Eleni.
It would be silly of me to walk around using my real name when I might be being hunted, right?
Yeah, who would do that?
So, but it doesn't matter. I don't know. Unless they show themselves, there's not a lot I can do, and I feel like with the infection and with the other things we need to do, it all depends on how long we're planning to stay here. If we're only going to be here a couple of days, I can probably keep my head down and avoid them. The question is, where are we going after this? Are we sticking together? Are we going our separate ways? We travelled here together, but at some point, we need some answers about what's actually happening to Astera.
I mean, that's why I came here. And the more we find out, the more confused I am. At the moment, it seems our priorities should be for the next few days try and help with the infection, try and hide ourselves anyway, and gain what we need. Well, Dante needs some new weaponry.
Yeah.
I feel there's things locked inside me that I'm not aware of. I need to learn how to break them.
If I may ask,
go ahead.
If we do want to look at this infection, do you have ways of contacting your adoptive mother? There seems to have been some connection there.
You think I haven't tried?
Sorry.
It's something I've tried several times, and I don't get a response. I came here because she's started to be less of herself because she's decaying. And I came to try and help her, and I can't. And now it turns out I need her to help her, and I can't hear her.
Is there anybody else that Tenebris trusted or worked with that might be able to help or might remember something that would help you?
Was that
The
a camera
night-
check?
Yeah,
Sorry.
check everything's fine on the
Yeah,
camera. Sorry.
it's still fine.
The night that you encountered your people, I encountered somebody as well. Maybe they could help. I don't know. They were just checking in on me. It was nice to see an old face. Maybe it's worth getting in touch again.
I think it's definitely worth it.
Hmm.
There's nothing
I'm sorry.
lost, right?
I did not mean to cause any offence by asking.
So we can do some shopping. I actually have some things that I want to do with Arcanair. Something to do with these, and I'll just sort of gesture at where my moths live, usually underneath my coat. We do definitely need to find a way of carrying your sword around, because I won't be lugging it around for you forever. And yeah, maybe we need to think about where next. I know we talked about like heading up to the Sacred Isles. If we want answers about Astera, does that seem like it?
I feel
Like,
now
okay.
that could be a perhaps dangerous route to take after Sir Arthur. I am thinking of the same place, aren't I? Sacred Isles is where their temple is, right?
No,
No?
It's where
It-
it's where their main base is.
it's
Yeah.
not. It's not where the Watchers are, though. I don't think there was a fort on the way
You're
that was
muted again.
nearby.
No, are you?
I'm not again.
No, you're fine.
No,
you're
no,
fine.
I'm just really quiet. No, so if I move us back to the Versa,
See your world map.
Why?
we did originally discuss it being there, but then we moved it to the northern tip of Hellig's Landing.
Oh yeah.
So the place that Ichi is sort of heading to, where his master, but the Sacred Isles is the home base of the Andonite religion, and basically a lot of priests to Astera do travel there because it is deemed to be holy place where hearing Astera is some of the easiest.
So I didn't think there were any Watchers. I mean, I might be wrong, but I didn't think there was any Watchers sort of forts or anything on the Sacred Isles. But I thought there was the chance that we would have to go past one.
You definitely
to
have
get
to go
there.
past one, and then obviously Ichi would probably want to head to his before moving on to, because you basically have to go up to it anyway.
Mm.
Let us. Ichi is in prayer tonight, so maybe we should talk about that as our next step as a whole.
Okay.
Let us go. Let's get our things. Let's get shopping. And maybe we can spot ways to help us and keep us hidden at the same time.
I am going to be looking for ways to avoid being detected. If I find some, I can buy some for the group.
Absolutely, I think that's a good idea. If it's okay, I'll stay here and see Arcanair and help out how I can. And yeah, keep your eyes open if you do see those people again. It'd be good to know whether they're still in the city or if they've decided they had the wrong person.
Dante will stand up and go to like he nods and goes to walk off and then pauses. Turns around and goes, I'm trying to learn. Would anyone else like to come with me?
I'll come along.
Thank you, Frodo.
Okay. Rolo and Dante begin to head on out.
Volo and Dante, Dante and Volu, going shopping. What will they buy?
Hey!
Max and Paddy and Max.
Okay. So, Eleni, you hang around behind, finish some food.
Yeah.
For the boys, where are you heading for? Are you going like straight to the market?
He might, before going anywhere, he might actually look for, I don't know, some. If Arkanair's about, we'll quickly have a natter with her. Is she about, or is she?
Yeah, they are. They're just sort of in the sort of healing area.
So he'll go over there first, and we'll just wait to be seen.
They would nod and sort of. They'd almost motion you over to just come over while they work. They're not like they're almost just expecting you to move around as you would.
Cool. Good morning, priestess.
Morning. How are you feeling today?
I'm still trying to get used to me. It's been a while, and this is a brand new me. I wanted to first, again, is there anything that you particularly would need from me to help with the curing of the people downstairs? Is there anything that I can do that you would require?
Not beyond the mundane. We are doing everything we can in terms of healing and keeping it at bay. But I mean, the frustrating thing is we're still not entirely sure where it is coming from. Did your group see anything while you were down there? Voldy said something about corruption, but was there anything to give you a hint on how to fight it specifically?
Dante's going to look a little bit sheepish, and then we'll look at Voli.
We saw something down there trying to. We saw the infection down there, and it almost looked like that was a living essence of the infection. There was something within it. It was trying to corrupt a golem. It was firing loads of things out of a flesh tunnel at us.
It sounds foul.
Oh, it's infection tunnel. Is that does that make more sense?
Yes. Okay.
Infected flesh tunnel.
Okay.
Almost like it has a memory of things it's infected.
Okay. So maybe there is something that we have not seen yet. So far, we have only found people who are corrupted.
This is different.
Is that because there's only people that have come into contact?
Well, only people that we know of, I assume. If we are right in thinking it is down in the catacombs, it potentially connects further down again.
It also created imps, didn't it?
It created basically one of every kind of creature at one point. Like,
I'm talking about out of people sick, and
it did cause them to spew up closets, not him.
My bad.
Vomited a closet.
That was it.
Yeah.
And check out that episode if you haven't seen it yet. But yeah, I still don't know how it interacts with each different person, but we have not seen any more closets or any other such things. Even the ones that are further along more just became violent. And
did you hear of the tunnels closing? on the before the race, we saw they were closing some tunnels.
Yeah, so there's a collapse down there.
Do you know if the collapse was caused by anything? I know you'd have a bit more sway in there.
I mean, I know that some of the miners were recovered, but I also know that some of them turned up during the race. Yes, it was the race that some were wearing like
lab coats.
Yeah. I don't know exactly what caused the collapse. Probably something. It could be something natural, maybe not. But this area is very prone to earthquakes.
On slightly separate notes, I am going to be going into town looking for ways of protection from divination spells, as I feel myself especially may get unwanted attention from other planar beings. Is there a particular shop, or either do any of you happen to sell amulets or protections of such sorts?
Now that the festival is over, it is a little bit more restrictive, though I don't know if that will change. Under Prime Minister Alar Moonshadow, magic item creation was fairly restrictive. Government controlled you could put requests in through the academy. They allow it can be quite good. They allow discounts for the students working on it and such, and they are able to regulate what items are being created. And obviously, during the festival, it is hard to control everybody that comes in off the desert, and you might find some down in the markets. But if it is something fairly mundane, not mundane, but simple, something that is often created that lots of people might have the same of, the magic school might be your best bet just to have it made. But the market is always the best place to look in town, unless you have contacts or people that know any of sometimes the upper class of the city have things to sell that they've come across. Essentially, you can, like the same way that you've asked Arcanar, you can ask any of the contacts you have if they know anybody who is.
Oh yes, let's look at that giant Rolodex of contacts we have.
I mean, you don't have a big one, but you also have some fairly important people in that Rolodex. You know what I mean? Like it's small, but it's premium.
It's not always the size that matters, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The question is, can Chris remember any of the names?
Yeah, that's it. But also, he's not the one with sending, so he doesn't have to be the one that remembers the names. He just has to suggest the idea.
You know that bloke? Yeah.
Well, I know we know Madam Oracle. I know we know we saved Junior, Moonshadow Junior.
Mm-hmm.
So that's quite a contact that we could potentially use. We've got
House Glass.
Yeah, that's a solid one as well. So we've got a few.
Oh, what's the dude's name? What's the House Glass dude's name?
Thief.
No, that's
it's the right Spartan.
Theodore. Theo something. Thaddeus.
Yeah, because I was thinking Theo, and no, that's brother Theo.
Yes.
Yeah, brother Theo. But yeah, so you could go physically looking down in the market. You could also go and put a request in, or you could try and see if somebody has.
Have we still got the coach?
You do still have the coach.
Yeah, we've just pinched it at this point.
Yeah.
Shall we go return it? But also ask for like some pick me ups.
Might be a shout. Yeah, sure.
To be fair, it's been a few days since you went to see if you could get the other vehicle that was being in the midst of being fixed.
Yeah, because we were going to use that to leave.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Right. Well,
He's been working on it, going, "Oh, they'll really need this." And we're like,
Anxiety is who?
But yeah,
yeah. Okay. So, I mean, that's everything I'm going to probably say to Arcanas. So,
okay, you will be able to head on out, get in the vehicle, and I assume up to House Glass first.
yeah, let's do House Class because we haven't totally stolen their car for a good couple of days.
Oh, more than a couple of days now.
To be honest, we didn't steal it. They let us have it.
They did say just bring it back when.
I think they said bring it back at the end of the day, but
No, they said when I watched it back, I think they said it'd be like for a few days, but I think you have had it longer than a few days.
Mhm.
But even so, you probably got to push it.
I mean, it's still in one piece though, which is pretty good for us.
Pretty
Yeah.
good going for you guys.
yeah, we've kept good care of it. Might have a parking ticket or two, but don't worry, they're rich enough to cover it. So, like,
And I say, Dante, so as you're driving through, you and Volu are sort of zooming through some of the bustling streets. The morning air is crisp and carrying the scent of baked bread, and almost you hear the grinding of a whetstone. And for some, you know why, but the city just feels different today. Even though the festival's over and things are going back to normal, it's the first time you've ever been in this city without the constant pressure and thought of, I need to do something, I need to do this, I need to do that. You're almost, experiencing the city for the first time again.
there's an element of daydreaming whilst I'm driving.
Hmm.
Not bothered.
I was waiting for you to finish that because that was very much a Dante, just embracing things and not paying attention. Can I be on the lookout for people watching us?
Yeah, made me a perception.
Come on, stupid rolls. Oh, that's a good one. 22.
I want to do the role, but my passive's 9, so I just feel like I don't get the option unless I get told. So,
Yeah. Well, unless you're asking to.
but I mean, in this case, I don't think so.
Yeah, that's fine. With the 22, it doesn't appear like anybody's particularly watching you. And actually, with Dante's shift, out of the three of you, obviously each of you was fairly known for crossing the finish line. And then out of the four of you at the start, the large, burned, orange-haired man was the one that stuck out. And neither of those two people are with you right now. As it appears, a fire ganassi almost would be most people's assumption at this point. With a halfling, probably not getting the same attention that you do normally when you're driving around. But nobody maliciously watching.
I might get a name tag just saying my name is Dante. Yes, really.
Okay. Nobody, not spotting anything, not seeing anyone.
It's nice, isn't it? Breathe the air, feels cooler. Hmm.
And you would be able to make your way through the city towards the Zenithward. I'm going to flick over to Eleni. Are you going straight over to Arcanera, or what would you do to what are you doing to sort of collect yourself in the morning?
I think I would pop down to sort of the infirmary. I'm calling it an infirmary, Liam, sort of where they've quarantined people. And would just see if there was anything I could do for the people who are just infected, like recently. Not the ones that are obviously there's nothing I can help, but just to see if there's anything I can do to make them more comfortable.
Very good.
And then once I'd done that, I would probably then go up and try and find Arcana.
So you would find Arcana in the main temple. They're just finishing preparing for some sort of morning mass. and sort of upon seeing you approach, they would, how are you feeling today? Are you feeling more settled within yourself?
Yes, thank you. Calmer. I think perhaps sleep was what I needed, and some space to gather my thoughts. Dante being Dante helps. I'm still not sure what direction I want to go in, but I think there's a lot that depends on what happens here.
Yeah, I'm pondering on that myself. I do not know what we do if we are unable to push back. I have been speaking with the high priest up in the Sacred Isles, but they're not experiencing anything that far up, so hopefully it is not, they have not heard or seen any things of it, but they are searching around and asking around the world at different temples.
I suppose the only other thing that I've been thinking about is that all of this started with those threads. That if this was something natural that had just happened to be growing under the earth and that somebody had come across and then had jumped from person to person, why would we have magic threads that enhanced that and caused problems, or are they completely unconnected? It feels like something we've never really answered.
I don't have answers for you either.
No. But yes, just strange. So I think we're going to try and help if we can. And then we need
Yeah,
to decide where to go next.
yeah, yes. I don't know if Volu did mention it, but I had mentioned maybe them heading up towards the Sacred Isles themselves might allow them to talk closer with Astera. It is said that is where we hear them the most.
I think we did discuss perhaps heading in that direction. There is some concern about what the best route would be. There are people who may still not see, how can I put this? There are still people who would see Dante as a threat.
You should, for the most part, you should. I don't know about everyone, but you should be pretty okay within Vercel. He very much resembles a fire ganassi, which, as I do not know if you know this, most of the ganassi in the world were born close to or after the time that Lyrics performed her magic.
Ah,
It is theorized exposure to such magical energies, but for many who are religious supporters of Lyrics, they see the ganassi as children of hers.
Perhaps he needs to change his name then. But yes, we were discussing that this morning. I don't think we've decided which way we want to go, but the Sacred Isles is definitely one of the options.
Well, whatever you decide, I'm more than willing to help you in that venture.
Thank you.
Now, I had a thought.
Yes.
We have a chamber. It is sanctified and dedicated for prayer and other such things. When we are communing with Astera or attempting to, that is where we do it. I also have a small amount of liquid from the Feywild. I know you are not a caster as such, but I almost wondered how your moths would react to it, and
I'm happy to
maybe
try.
I can also cast a number of spells myself, but I did not want to do so without your permission. I can. I want to save a lot of my spells for healing, of course, but I can do one or two. I could ask if there are any questions if you would like me to.
I think perhaps some kind of. I like the idea of this chamber. I don't think I've ever actually attempted to speak to Astera myself. And as long as you don't harm my moths, I'm happy to experiment with spells. I'll be honest, they usually have a better gut feeling than I do about whether something's good or bad. I'm sure they'll warn me if they're not happy.
Okay. They would say, "Are you ready now?" I will just finish up here and then.
Whenever you are ready, as you know, my companions have gone out hunting for items, so I am happy and to stay in the temple until you have finished your chores.
I'm basically done here, and the mass will start in maybe 15 minutes. I can take you down and get you started, and they lead you through. They do go by their room first, and they collect. It's almost like a sealed decanter, decantering
Yeah.
jug sort of thing. And you see inside there is it's water, but it's not see through. It's like blue, as if it's in the sea, sort of water.
Okay.
And almost has like a silvery swish to it as it moves in the bottle. When they get it out, there is an almost excitement buzz through this. Like definitely not fear at the presence of it that runs through your moths.
I would tell her that. I would actually say my moths are really excited about that.
Interesting. I have been trying to think about. There are a number of areas, and they're sort of talking as they're walking you through towards the chamber. There are a number of areas that we know of in the world that are close to the Feywild, but from my small amount of research over the last few days, creature life, birth, things like that usually require a volatile moment of volatility.
Volatility.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the ones I know of, like for example, in the forest down to the southeast, there is said to be a portal, but as far as I know, there is no great volatile thing happening down there.
Where did I meet Volu? Was it in the
In the
forest
forest down to
south?
the southeast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
southeast. So if we're looking on, I suppose it's more directly south, more than
Yeah.
southeast. But yeah, the Loviette
Yes.
has always said to be deeply mystified and fey entrapped. You also would remember you encountered darklings
Yes, we did.
in the forest when you were first traveling through. I do not know of any, however, although it depends what they mean by volatile. It could be anything, I suppose. But eventually you do arrive to a chamber.
Mm-hmm.
It's a medium. It's maybe 20 by 20, so it's a decent size. But you can see that there are four like kneeling cushions, if that makes
Right.
sense. So it's almost
Yeah.
like a few people would come in here, but definitely not everybody at once. It's not like a mass prayer room, but there's definitely space for a few people. They say, I will let the brothers know that for today, or until you let us know that it is yours, so feel free to arrange as you wish. You would see the stuff on the side, like a bowl to wash, general stuff like that. There's some incenses. They just sort of say whatever you feel like using, and they will hand you
Okay.
the jug of water and sort of allow you to go in. I'm gonna flick back over to the others. I'll give you a little bit of time, to think about what you actually want to do in here.
Yeah.
But they close the doors, say, let me know when you are ready, and then they'll head up.
Okay. Cool.
This is the end of part 1. Part 2 airs Sunday 7 PM GMT, or will be linked in the top right of your screen now. Thank you for watching, and roll well.